it's Dr. Patt at Little Critters, and we have Cubone here, a Caiman monitor lizard. We're wearing gloves because he does get a little bitey. He's still being socialized. But these monitor lizards are very interesting lizards, as you can see, very dramatic and beautifully colored. They are semi-aquatic monitors and arboreal, so they do climb, they love the water. They're from Papua New Guinea, and really lowland rainforests and mangroves is kind of their native habitat. The diet for this guy right now is predominantly snails. He has a preference for snails. The owner is working on trying to diversify that diet a bit, and we generally do recommend trying to diversify the diet as much as possible to diversify nutrients. In the wild, these guys would eat rodents, birds, all kinds of fish, insects, a large variety of prey items. He has a snail preference right now. It is important that they have the correct diet. All the monitors are pretty susceptible to metabolic bone disease, so ensuring adequate calcium, full spectrum UVB lighting, appropriate diet, and usually a weekly multivitamin is what we recommend. They can be shy and nocturnal and can take a little bit of time to socialize them, but he has a wonderful owner who's done a beautiful job. Self-trauma is very common in these lizards, oftentimes because they're very active and they're climbing. They will rub their nose or the front of their face along the enclosure, and they end up with wounds on the rostral nose, mandible, or maxilla. That's a very common thing that we see in them. And so it's very important to have a large enclosure with a lot of climbing and area so that we're not having this reoccurring trauma. And they can get stressed if the enclosure is not appropriate or the environment and humidity, and then we can end up with some other secondary infections as well. Some of these, as they get larger, do require sedation for handling, but as you can see, she's done a beautiful job with him. And an important did you know on Caiman monitors, they are one of the longest tailed lizards in proportion to body size. And you can see already his tail is quite long. They will use this as a whip in defense, so you do want to make sure you're holding the tail. He does have retained shed on his tail. You can see starting about a few centimeters down from the base, he has some retained shed here. Otherwise, very healthy on his physical exam, and he's being a wonderful boy. So he's a work in progress, but overall very healthy, very well cared for, and an absolutely beautiful lizard who's being a very good boy.